TLR Losi 5B on the Axis RC rocket stand. Bag A, let the build begin. What's up, guys? Welcome to Foundry RC, the best place to feed your need for everything RC. Okay, so I have the TLR 5B up on the stand. We're going to start the build. This is the build that you have the opportunity of winning. More details to follow. It's probably going to be a waffle. If you don't know what that is, you can look it up. It's either going to be on Instagram or Facebook. Most likely Instagram. So please look in the description down below and follow me on Instagram. And we're going to do it there. Alright, so let's start the build off. We got a instruction manual says start with bag A, and we got bag A1. Alright, let's let the build begin. Alright, so this is our first step over here. We have to put together the linkage for the dual servo setup. So we're going to take bag A. I might flip this in post. I'm trying a new camera layout. The last video I did, I was blocking a lot. I had my elbow in the way, so I'm trying something different here. So forgive me if it doesn't come out okay, but alright, so from bag A, we're going to need this bag right here. We're going to need this one right here, and this one right here. We do not need this one here that has the nuts and washers in it. We can put that aside right now. Alright, so first going to crack these open and pull out these the rod ends over here. So take your knife, cut it open. And in particular, we're going to be working with the larger two. If you look, you have two different sizes here. Okay, so the first step has us putting together the linkage for the dual servo setup. So we're going to take from bag A. You're going to use all the bags in bag A except for the bag that has the nuts and washers. So we're going to put that aside. We need the screw from here. You see all the parts there. We need the two ball ends from here and the plastic pieces. Now the plastic pieces, there's two different sizes. You have the smaller one and the larger one. We're obviously using the larger one. Okay, so what I do is you put this in a vise. And by putting it in a vise, you got a good grip on it. And then you can go ahead and tighten this in. So when you put this thread in here, you want to make sure you only go halfway. So when you have about 10 millimeters left sticking out, that's the halfway point. Then you can go ahead and put the other end on. Alright, so an easy way to do this, again, put it in the vise. Take your tool and just use it to thread it on. And you want to do this slowly. You want to make sure you're not cross-threaded. So I started it by hand and just spin it on until we get to the right measurements. Okay, when you have it finished, you want to be at 55 millimeters. So when I put it in, I'm a little bit too far. So I'm going to back it off a half turn at a time until I'm at 55 millimeters. Alright, so there we are, 55.02. That's as accurate as we're going to get it. If otherwise, it's supposed to be lined up this way. As you can see, one's turned this way. They're both 90 degrees from each other. So we're at 55.2 and we're done. Okay, after you get this piece right here to 55 millimeters, you're going to take these two pieces right here and you're going to use the vise to pop them in. I put a nut on one end to protect the screw, use the vise to get even pressure and pop it in there. And then on this one, with this one, we're going to actually pop it in from the reverse side because we need it on the second one. So you're going to stick this one in this way and pop it in, okay? You're not going to pop it on the first one. Alright, let's go do that now on the vise. After you pop in the first ball joint, you want to make sure you have them lined up the right way. So you want this one to be down, up and down, and then this one to be parallel, left and right. So if this one's pointing up, the ball up, you want to make sure that you put it in this way. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take an 8mm socket, put it on here like this. So I have the side that has the nut on it going into the socket, and then that way when I squeeze on the vise, it's still something to press against. Because otherwise you'll be squeezing the thing and it won't do anything. So this is going to help me put this in and push the pressure against the plastic to pop it in. Okay, with the socket in, I'm going to tighten it up. Same thing just until it snaps in. Alright, so the next step is A2. We're going to take the two smaller pieces. We're going to take the screw that has the little hex piece in the middle, and we're going to do the same thing. We're going to measure that to 46.5 millimeters. I'm not going to show the measurement, but you guys should get a good micrometer. I picked up this one here on Amazon. I'll link it in the description down below. This is probably one of the best ones you can find. Very, very accurate. So I'll link this one down in the description so you can get one yourself. Okay, so we're going to start off again. We're going to hand thread it at first. You want to make sure you're not cross threading it. So you got to be very careful and slow about it. And just line it up and slowly twist it in. It'll give it a little bit of pressure. So you can see it doesn't go right away all the time, but you'll get it in. Just be patient and give it some pressure. Turn it slowly. There we go, see? Okay, so after I hand threaded it in just a little bit, you're going to take a socket wrench, 8mm. I got my Foundry RCU socket wrench. Now this one's good because it has a little stop so it doesn't go all the way down. And you're going to just thread it pretty much all the way down at first. That's what I'm going to do. Not all the way, but get it a good way in. And you're going to want to put a little downforce in it to get it to go in first. And there we go. So we're going to screw this all the way in, and I'll show you the next step. Alright, so you can see I got it most of the way in. I left it about 1 or 2 millimeters shy of being full, kind of like how it shows in the picture. So we can put the other side on, and then we could tighten it up and get it to the right measurement. Alright, so once we have that one in, we're going to put it back in the vise. Now if you don't have a vise, you could use pliers. I've seen plenty of people use pliers, but with me holding the camera and filming, this just makes my life much easier. So we're going to go and take the other part on, and we're going to thread this one in now. Again, you don't want to strip it out. Once we get it, we're going to take an Allen key, stick it through the hole, and tighten it the rest of the way up. Okay, so I forgot to mention, with this and the previous one side is a reverse thread, and that's so that you can adjust them with it adjusting equally. So once I put these all the way in, I ended up putting the 8mm wrench on here and putting it in the vise and holding one with the thing, and I would back it out a little bit at a time until I got to the 46.5 millimeters. Alright, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to take this piece here, and we're going to put the nut on the end, just to protect the end, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this, with this, put it in the vise, and use the vise to snap it in. Okay, so I put it in the vise, so I get even pressure as it goes in, and you just want to spin it slowly, because you're not trying to crush it, you just want to pop it in. Right there. And that's it. Step A3. I'm going to kind of glaze over this step right now. That is because I do not have the servos yet for this build. Plus, I'm also going to be taking this apart to do future upgrades to it before it gets goes out to one of you lucky viewers. Okay, so just to recap what was done, I put it together roughly so I don't lose any of the parts. So I put all 8 screws and washers inside the servo tray. Now this goes here. It's not bolted to the chassis yet. I just put it here. These are the 2 button head screws that hold the servo horns to the servo. There are 2 screws in the side over here and here. This piece right here is not attached yet, and that is because we're going to use the vise to attach it later on. You have to do the servo mixing on that first, so you want to make sure your servos are set up right so they're not fighting each other. This is the other piece right here. This is the one with the 2 balls on it. The one with the single ball goes on top of this, and you're going to pinch these together in a vise, and this goes forward later on. This is what hooks up to your steering. Okay, so like I said, I'm skipping over this for now, but I put everything together so I don't lose it, and so I can keep it together. And if you need to do it, this is how it goes. Oh, there is also the small nut that came in the bag goes inside here. So you push that inside here. You can see that right there. Okay. So I'm going to put these in a Ziploc bag so nothing gets lost. But I have all the screws with washers for the mounting the servos, the 2 linkages, and the screws that connect it together. All right, on to the next step.